Aujourd'hui, je vais parler de one of those made-up holidays and not even one celebrated in the US right now. But hey, I figured if the dates match, I might as well use the opportunity to talk about it. That's right, a corporate-sponsored holiday of, Singles Day? Bachelor's Day? Bachelorette's Day? Oh. Hey, XenPuck here. So if you're on the internet, I assume you've actually heard of the China-centric holiday of today, November 11th, aka 1111, which looks like 4 standalone sticks and therefore a collection of single people. And that's to be celebrated. I'm going to surmise this obviously is a holiday that only recently came into existence because, there just weren't as many single people back in the days. I mean, I'm not saying that as a good or bad thing, just a different thing. People used to be forced to couple up way earlier in life, right? And that's still the case if you look at the poorest economies or peoples around the world, right? Kids get traded like cattle to build what little advantage or familial bond that they can. And before long, they're having kids of their own. But it's different now, and in a way, I'm glad China invented this holiday, right? Because it implies more young people actually have the ability to support themselves and does not immediately need to be coupled up. I mean, being single implies some level of independence that comes with, crawling out of the economic pit level, okay? But as China grows and this holiday grows, I want to give my 2 cents about it, because I don't know, it just so happens that Singles Day falls on a day I put up videos. So there you go, no other reason. I'm just trolling for topics, and voila, here we are. So if you enjoy some random rants from a dude with no production skills whatsoever, clearly, like and subscribe, share and comment, or whatever. I'll be great regardless, because I'm already happy. Okay, I really need to get this off my chest first. And that's the symbolism of the 1111, right? And I think that makes actually no sense. I mean, I get it. The month and date looks like a collection of 4 separate people. But how does that make them all single again? To me, 1111 looks like 2 whole couples standing next to each other. So that would make this a holiday of what? Dual income, no kids? Or partner up but too selfish for children? And the 4 singles are next to each other. If each one stands for an individual single person, not part of a couple, wouldn't 4 people standing next to each other be representing like a quadruple rather than a couple, right? Like a foursome of people hanging out, exploring perhaps? I'm pretty sure that's not what the average Chinese person would think, right? My point is, wouldn't the month date combination of 0101 or 1010 be better to illustrate the actual separation of 2 people from each other, therefore implying singledom? Now I get that why nobody's aiming to make January 1st, aka New Year's Day, into a competing singles date, but why not 10-10-10-10, which is October 10th? Oh wait, I just realized that's actually National Day in China. Okay, so fine. How about October 1st, aka 1001? Now there's just 2 singles very separated from each other, right? Now visually to me that is a way more accurate way to symbolize the whole oh no, we're all single idea compared to 4 singles standing next to each other. I mean, come on, if you really had that many singles in the same place, nobody would stay single for that long. That's just science, yo. Point number 2. Good lord, isn't Singles Day just a big corporate-sponsored spend fest? And I thought Mother's Day and Father's Day were invented Hallmark holidays in the US, but those have absolutely nothing on how Alibaba basically popularized this silly Singles Day idea. I mean, I love how the solution to the rejection of traditional coupledom is a solution in a capitalist system for pretty much any problem, which is, just buy more junk. I love it for the sake of capitalism, right? I mean, capitalism is what allows me to not have a job because I have capital making money for me, right? Instead of me having to do so. And the largest population on the planet is being suckered into more purchases for this incredibly silly reason that literally every single person on the planet has to go through, aka singledom at some point, right? That is just hilarious, and usually Chinese people are such good savers too, but when faced with not having a partner, I guess even the generally disciplined breaks down and starts buying stuff to drown out one's own sorrows. Hey, I'm not knocking it, all right? I remember being single and definitely buying more crap than I needed. I mean, on clothes alone, I spent way more back in the days. After all, had to think of a way to peacock, right? I mean, you know, clearly I'm not a smooth conversationalist, so I needed some fancy fun clothes to speak for me. Yeah. Great shame. Now, finally, I want to address whether I think singledom is actually worth celebrating, like at all. To be frank, I don't even think most Chinese people would disagree with me when I say no. That is why Singles Day has basically turned out to be like Valentine's Day in the US, right? Just another reason for people to get together and try to hook up. I mean, I'm all for that, right? Because I think the silly part is the whole buy more stuff part, right? But party, yes. Buy stuff, nah. Because socializing will hopefully reduce all that singledom, right? Honestly, who really likes being alone? Or being single, rather, right? I get it. Not everyone always wants to be in somebody else's face. But if you're like that, just find somebody who you can be alone with, right? Because guess what? I'm pretty sure literally nobody on the planet wants to die alone, right? Being single means having no one in your own peer group that cares about you. And no amount of food or drink or clothes or gadget will fill that void, right? We human beings are pretty social creatures. We want to couple up, or thruple, or quadruple, if that's your thing, right? But I'll leave that to the cooler people than me to untangle, right? So Singles Day should be meant to fix that whole situation. I know most people would agree, and that's why it's now a huge party day, okay? Like I said, I used to buy stuff to look better in front of the opposite sex, so I'm not saying that you can't buy stuff in anticipation of Singles Day. But who's buying the stuff on the day off? Too late, bro. Okay, should have prepared better to find a partner worth having. Clearly, it can't be that hard if billions of other people have done it, right? Anyway, you guys know that I jest. I'm not saying there isn't anything positive about being single, right? But it's hard to take the celebration of it seriously when in fact people also use Singles Day to try to find a date, right? I mean, from the bottom of most of our hearts, I think we feel detached and we want a real connection, right? Maybe you can find that in friends alone, but what happens when they couple up? Because when they inevitably will, they will become less parts of your life, right? That's just reality. Even sitcoms won't sugarcoat that one, okay? Instead, for most people, finding that life partner, that is a real goal. And in my case, I can finally stop buying fancy clothes and just walk around in shorts and a tank top all day. God, I love coupledom, okay? And unless some major catastrophe happens in my life, I'll happily watch all the silly singles talk about how great being singles is, because I know that's a bold-faced lie, okay? No amount of material goods will suffice. Thank you guys for buying stuff, moving that economy around, and really supporting my lifestyle on the DL, okay? Cheers. I'll approach it.